Good morning from Italy. So I'm going to do a vlog today. Today is my pull day, which is pull legs. Obviously I do quite a little bit more lower body now. Obviously my goal, my feedback from the judges was not to get much bigger. I actually got some really great feedback from Becky at my Tri-City competition that I did, which was my second show that I won. And she mentioned the fact that I'm not too big, but I just have a very good shape that then allows me to look a little bit bigger on stage than what potentially I am. So just to be very cautious as to where I add my size to make sure that it doesn't look too big on stage. But I don't think that my look will look too big on stage when I'm against the girls at the Olympia that are obviously quite a lot denser than what I am. They're older than what I am. They have been doing it for a lot longer than I am, so that's obviously something that I have to be very mindful of, but definitely taking on all the feedback that obviously all the judges have given me. I still haven't received my feedback from my last competition. I have emailed twice, but potentially he's a little bit busy because I have seen that he's been doing shows back to back each weekend since that, so not an issue because I have some really great feedback both from Tyler and from Becky. So nothing changes for me when I go away, and I wouldn't recommend everybody to go away in a competition prep at all. Obviously needs a must because I'm here to support Cuba, but I've ensured that everything is prepared and organised ahead of schedule to make sure that nothing breaks down for me whilst I'm here. Everything is the same. I still have my coffee at the same time, I still have my water at the same time, I still do my work at the same time. That is Denny. Denny is one of my newer clients and she's absolutely fantastic, but I'm just halfway through my check-ins now for Thursday. I pushed my schedule an hour ahead compared to what I would usually do. So instead of waking up at 5 a.m. like I do in the UK, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. here. So that means going to bed a little bit later. But it just means that then when I get back home, my timings are still the same because obviously we are an hour ahead here for meals and sleep time for when I get back, so that routine can stay locked in here and routine can stay locked in there. We've been very fortunate here in Italy that Cuba knows he helps to supply equipment to different gyms, and obviously with Cuba having UltraFlex, he's obviously done quite a little bit of business with Alessandro, so we've been very lucky to be able to utilize his gym whilst we've been here. Pretty much has all the equipment that we have at UltraFlex, so my sessions aren't really very different. At Titan in Alicante, my sessions had to be adapted a little bit, but again, still a great facility, still great equipment, and still able to do all of my sessions just slightly modified for different equipment. But I'm actually very excited to get locked into my usual training split and training sessions here in Milan. So I trained push yesterday, I will train pull today, I'll rest on Friday, I'll train Saturday with my legs. Cuba's competition is on Sunday, but they don't actually start the pro show until 5 p.m. in the evening. Because we are traveling on Monday, I am going to do my push session on Sunday morning. Then I'm going to rest on Monday and then just get back to normal from pull on Tuesday, rest on Wednesday, and then just completely back to normal from there. That means that then that aligns pretty well with the busy schedule that we do have that we have set for July. So with obviously most people shut down for summertime when it comes to online coaching, and because they obviously want to enjoy summer, which is absolutely fine. I'm in prep, things don't stop even if I'm not in prep, so I don't slow down. So what we do have is the first event on the 13th of July is the MK seminar. We have great guest speakers in the form of Jordan Peters, James Hollingshead, Jamie Johal, Ryan Terry and Lucia Hughes, all different in terms of what they can bring to the table. We all know Jordan Peters, we all know James, both big advocates and inspirations for the majority of us British bodybuilders and the things that we can do to push to try and achieve. They paved the way for a lot of us, and I could definitely say that they have for me. Jamie is one of our very close friends, and he's recently come away from bodybuilding and done it in a very, very, very good way. And I think if anybody can take anything from him, to actually transition over to not being a bodybuilder anymore, I think it'll be a really great speech. Plus, obviously, he's gone through a lot of hardships and gone through them because of his fantastic mindset. So I think it'll be really nice to actually listen to him and get some, obviously, advice from him. Because for me, bodybuilding is obviously very short-lived. Being a female bodybuilder, I don't want to be someone that stays on something like assistance forever. So trying to get a couple of Olympias under my belt before I actually pack it in, retire, and maybe have one baby. There's definitely not going to be any more than one, because that's not for me. Will be great. And then we also have Ryan Terry, who's also the current Mr. Physique Olympia champion, which his speech last year was fantastic, and I can imagine that even more so it will be this year. And then we also have Lucia, who is she's the lady who's created our online Google Sheets for us, for our clients to be able to track. People don't believe in Google Sheets, or they think that they're a little bit too much. I love to track everything. Since being a diver, I've tracked everything. We used to use logbooks there of how we felt, how the session's been, how many repetitions we did of different movements, and it was a great way for me to be able to track progress and how I felt on that specific day as to how I then performed, including nutrition, etc. So I do think that tracking is really effective, regardless of whether you do that in the notes on your phone, a message on WhatsApp to your coach, something to actually just keep track of how you are progressing. I think it's really important, especially if you want to be a top level athlete, regardless of how you do it. And if people say that they don't do it, they probably do, but they just don't realise that they're doing it, even if they're not using a Google Sheet. So Lucy has been the lady who's actually created that for us and has continually upskilled. And I'm really excited, especially for a lot of the coaches in the room, to understand the importance of that and get some feedback and potentially even utilise her to be able to create some sheets as well. But right now I'm going to finish off my work block before Cuba gets up, and then we go for a little walk just as normal before we then have our first meal. So first block of work block done. Did about 3/4 of my check-ins before I come out for a little walk. Definitely have my t-shirt on back to front, which is obviously not great, but it is what it is. Just coming out for a walk with Cuba. As you can see, he's also vlogging. So I'm sure that we look great walking through Milan and using our cameras to actually make some videos, obviously, because it's not the norm, which is great. But usually I would have little Zena alongside me doing my morning walk in our little forest that is close to our house. Definitely miss her. It'd be nice to get back home to have a big lick and a cuddle with her. Can't wait for it. But nonetheless, a nice little morning walk in a Milan park before we head back home to have first meal before finishing the rest of check-ins. Thursdays is one of my busiest days when it comes to client check-ins, so they do tend to drift a little bit later into the morning, but that's all okay, because clients need to make sure that they get a reply. Obviously I am an hour ahead, so most have got check-ins on time for kind of 5 a.m/6 a.m, depending on what time it is that I reply to them. So meal one is the same as normal. 225 grams of egg whites, 200 grams of sourdough bread, 2 whole eggs, 20 grams of avocado, and 100 grams of veggies, 20 grams of blueberries. Kuba's also got his meal. So we're going to eat that, we're going to watch some podcasts, and then we're going to get back to work, because work never stops. The work block, and also lots of cooking. Had quite a bit of stuff to prepare this morning, just because we didn't have everything yesterday, so we had to go to the shop. So I've got my 20 grams of pumpage. This is the sour cherry variety. This and the blue slush is my favourite. Use my code MEG10, not Cuba 10, if you want to get money off. Just kidding, but please use my code, it's nice. It supports me and supports Jordan and Corinne. Got 100 grams of pineapple. I've got a rice cake and 10 grams of honey. I've got 100 grams of rice, 185 grams of prawns, and veg. Nothing is different to normal, so we just crack on. Right, so first stop before pull day is coffee time. So we've got 3 shots of lovely Italian
2.5.
coffee. Oh, sorry, 2.5. Lovely shots of coffee. I've got myself a little croissant for after I finish training. Because that's what I do on pull day, because it's such a taxing session, and because I'm so close to Olympia, not really had like an off-plan meal properly really since December. Apart from I had a burger in Alicante with everybody, but it's not quite the same when it's not with Cuba.
I haven't actually had an off-plan meal or anything off-plan since before December.
Yeah. So that's just the way that the cookie crumbles.
Yep.
So into prep number 2 soon. So Cuba's allowing for me to have a tiny little bit of extra food after my pull days. My body weight is up a little bit this week, but I don't think that I look bad for it.
You look better if anything.
I think that my fullness looks good. I'm still quite vascular in my legs, which is usually an area that does get fat for me quite quickly, if I'm honest. My belly hasn't gotten really big, but I've just held body composition really well because I've stuck to plan. Not that I don't usually stick to plan, but we do usually allow for a few days away from usual schedule after competition, which sees our body weights go up by about 3-4 kilos maybe, and then we start our off season. Whereas this time that didn't happen, so things have stayed very good.
You've executed this a lot better as well, so that matters as well.
Yeah, I mean, the more experience that you get at it, or the more times you do it, the better you become at it. I'm not saying that it gets any easier, but you definitely get better at it. So looking forward to finishing my coffee and then heading to the gym for pull day, as that is a big session for me.
In time.
Bisher, ich muss sagen, gerade die Bauchkontrolle und so, je öfters man das übt mit dem Training, umso leichter fällt es einem. Und gerade auch konditionstechnisch geht es echt fit. Und
ja, bereust du, dass du es bisher noch nicht so gut hast?
Nicht so doll. Manchmal funktioniert vielleicht. Aber
Gutes Pferd springt alle.
richtig. So ist es. Eine Runde mache ich gleich nochmal. Ihr könnt sehr gerne mal eure Meinung in die Kommentare schreiben, was ihr zur aktuellen Form sagt. Das ist auf jeden Fall wasserfreier als beim letzten Mal. Und ja, jetzt gucken wir mal, was wir hier gleich noch machen. Definitiv noch ein bisschen Posing üben. Und dann
intensity there. Oh, so she does glutes, hamstrings and back. A little bit of leg press as well. Right.
Only two at the moment, but I have 5 modules. Flex leverage, and I have Nautilus compound bicep for the week. It's like this way. So.
Quando costano le tue macchine, tipo mi scrive. Flash.
No block.
Chi è?
Mandagli lo scrivano ti manderà 10 minuti di audio. Questo qua è quello anno che mi ha fatto buttare poi ho indicato il pacchetto del Flex.
The leverage free weight.
No, non mi risponde proprio.
So just finished the gym, just about to have post-workout, which is 110 grams of cream of rice, 150 grams of raspberries, 40 grams of whey, and I've also got my little croissant that we bought earlier that I am about to eat as well. So gonna enjoy that, and then we're gonna go to the supermarket before we head back home. Right, so back at the apartment, just about to have my post-workout meal, which is 75 grams of rice, 25 grams of avocado, 100 grams of veggies, and 185 grams of prawns. So I'm going to enjoy that. Cuba's chilling in the background, and we are watching some television. The last meal is 50 grams of rice. It's usually my meal too, but we changed training around to train earlier. If I wasn't as busy as what I was at home, I would definitely train at that time because I just feel more productive. But obviously we have things we have to do when we're at home that means that we have to train at a specific time. So this is my usual meal too. 50 grams of rice, 100 grams of veg, 125 grams of beef. I've actually got tartare, so it's it's what's it called, raw meat. So I'm going to enjoy that with 100 grams of pineapple, and I've also got a side of Sprite.
Lovely.
We've got 70 grams of oats, 30 grams of 30 grams of JP cream of rice, which is chocolate orange. My best flavour, either that or a sticky toffee, or the apple pie. Depends what I'm feeling like. Actually, the strawberry one's really nice as
Custard
well.
as well.
I like, yeah.
And the white chocolate. They're all nice.
Yeah, but they're my favourite ones. Then I've got 200 grams of berries, 20 grams of whey, 10 grams of dark chocolate. I've got 200 grams of yogurt, and I've put some of my berries in there as well. So I'm going to enjoy this, relax, and go to bed. We've also got our Trade by JP supplements. We've had the other supplements with like omegas and things a little bit earlier, and the sleep style ones that are the dream sleep, have them a little bit closer to bedtime so that they can knock you out and help you get some goodsies. But please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hopefully you've enjoyed the vlog. I actually got through one. This is probably my 3rd time trying whilst being away now, so you're in luck. See you later.